Hey yo, this is Dash.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see me, I have Vicky. In case you don't know, this is Vicky, my vertical smoker. This is a insulated reverse flow smoker. I had Vicky, I just got Vicky started using charcoal and a couple of splits tonight. So this is gonna be something a little different. Usually I will be using Bessie, but because of the fact that I work a full-time job during the day, and I got up this morning, it was between 4:15 and 4:30, worked all day. It is now 11:30 almost. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to stay up all night long. So I'm gonna be using Vicky to get a jump start on my cook. Tonight, or this cook is gonna involve 2 briskets, 2 legs of lamb, 70 wings, and a rack of beef ribs. So I'm thinking I might get the beef ribs as well as the 2 racks of brisket, or excuse me, the 2 briskets into Vicky, get them started, and I'll get them to the point where I can get them almost done, and then I'll bring them in the house and finish them. And then what I'm gonna do is in the morning, early in the morning, I have to get wings done, and I wanna cook my wings. I'm going to cook my wings at a slightly higher temperature than I would typically be smoking at. I'm gonna try to cook them between 275 and 300 degrees to help get the skin crisp. You guys ask me all the time, how do you get the skin crisp on chicken? You have to increase the heat, point blank. So I'm going to get the beginning of my cook started with Vicky, just like I said, and then the tail end will be done in Bessie. So I'll see y'all in a bit. Okay, so I have Vicky going, and I'm going to get my food loaded up into the smoker. So I told you guys I have 1 rack of beef ribs. I'm putting them way down here on the bottom because I know they're going to cook the slowest down here, and I'm not in a rush for these to get done. The beef ribs are going to get picked up tomorrow about noon. Not in a hurry for that. Now, the briskets, on the other hand, the briskets are gonna get picked up about 10 o'clock, and it is just after midnight, so I need to hustle to get these done. So I'm gonna put these up a little higher in the smoker so that they can, you know, we can get them cooked a little faster. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and get the intake set where I want Vicky to settle in at. I'm shooting for this second tier here to be, or the second rack here to settle in right at about 250 degrees. I'll be happy with that. I know that the way that the heat comes from the bottom of the smoker down here, up along the side, out into the smoke chamber here, then it comes back down, and in the back is where the exhaust comes from. So this is reverse flow because of the airflow, the heat and smoke is coming up and then down and back out of the smoker in the back there. Those things being said, the top of the smoker is definitely warmer than the bottom of the smoker, just because obviously the heat is coming in there. But again, I'm gonna try to get this middle rack dialed in at about 250 degrees. Once I do that, I'm gonna let this sit out here for a few hours. I'll come back out, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm gonna come back out here, and I will get it wrapped up, get it finished in the house. Once I get this started to get finished in the house, I'm gonna start Bessie up, and I'll be doing the wings that I have to do and the lamb that I have to do in Bessie in the morning. Again, this is 2 smokers, 1 cook.
Eventually.
so you guys saw me struggle to get the fire lit pretty much, but I want you to look at that right there. Can you see that? That is the moisture from the wood, because the wood is wet because it's been raining. That's the moisture coming basically off the long side of it, collecting to where it's dripping down, and it's bubbling up and around the front of the log. Now you can hear it hissing pretty good too. And that's why it took me a little while to get this fire going. So I'm actually going to leave this door open for a few moments to try and get this this burn good and started. Alright, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to give this a couple minutes to fully get engulfed before I go in the house. And what I'm going to do is go in the house, get my chicken wings, get those seasoned up, and then I'll get them out here up onto the smoker. So you see Bessie is working pretty hard right now. Like I said, I'm gonna leave this door open because I want to make sure that this fire is good and lit. I've had it where I thought it was lit, and then I take the flamethrower off of it, and then it goes out. I don't want that to happen. I'm on a tight deadline again, as always. So I need to get this cook done. And so this portion of the cook is gonna be, about 80 chicken wings. The orders together combined are for 70. My wife asked me, she said, you're gonna have some left over. I want you to do something for me. So I'm cooking about 80 chicken wings, and I had 2 boneless legs of lamb. One of the boneless legs of lamb is for one of you guys. Well, actually, a married couple. So, but it's for a pair of subscribers. How about that? Anyway, I have, like I said, I've gotten the fire going, and you guys can see it over my shoulder here. And you can still see this moisture is coming off of these sticks. So you can cook with wet wood, or I guess the only advice I have if and or when dealing with wet wood is to make sure that it's good and lit. That's why I'm keeping the door open, so that I can make sure that this does not go out. Again, I have had it where I thought the fire was lit, I close it up and it's not enough air, and the moisture wins out and it'll take out the fire. So I'm gonna make sure it's raging before I go anywhere. And right now it's only kind of lit towards the back, but I'm hoping it will engulf the rest of the fire box here. I might add some more wood in there since it's going, to try and help get some of the wood that's up front or on the front side lit as well. But again, my only advice to you for when dealing with wet wood is to make sure that your fire is actually good and lit. You might have to stay there with your torch, or you might have to use the extra fire starter, or whatever it is that you use to start your fire. But it will eventually come around. You more or less have to dry the wood out before it'll get going. Alright? So I'm going to stay here for a couple more minutes and watch this before I go ahead in the house and get my chicken seasoned. I'll pick this back up when I'm out, when I am ready to load up the smoker. Okay, and what are you going to say?
Make sure you subscribe.
Okay.
Give a thumbs up.
Alright, so let's try this again. It's subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give a thumbs up if you like. Bye.
Alright, so that was my daughter. She always wants to help whenever she catches me filming the video. So just like she said, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you like what you saw, if you learned something, please leave me a thumbs up down below. And leave a comment, if you have any other questions. And I'll see you next time.